Hey guys.
Every time. We'll get the clap right eventually.
I'm just gonna clap again because
Hi.
that's what I do right after.
Hi guys.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going.
It's going.
We
It's a
apologize
Friday.
for any technical difficulties we have in every episode of this
Every-
podcast.
every
We do our
episode.
best.
What's everyone drinking tonight, Jessica?
I'm just drinking beer. Same old, same. Whatever's quick and easy. I am lazy as fuck lately, so that's all I got.
It is what it is. Sonia?
I'm doing a mixture of juice and 7-Up and cherry rum. That's what's going on here.
Oh, swamp water.
In a clear container.
In a clear
Yes.
container
And it's fitty
with,
fitty.
with the lid.
Yes.
Like that closes. Bam. It's important.
I'm drinking Palm Bay Rainbow Twist. I don't know, it's new.
Mm.
And I'm switching it up. I'm not drinking my twisted tea or my mics. I'm
It
cheating.
happens.
Sorry, we spent so much time talking about mic issues. Like, then you said mics, and I got confused for a minute, and I was like, "Why is she? What? Is she, what was she? Mean? Is that like slang? Like, you're on TikTok more than me. I didn't know if it was like
Maybe this is a new thing.
No, I meant Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, I got that after.
Yeah. Something these crazy kids are talking about.
I'm
Drinking
doing
them
some
Mike.
Mike.
Ugh. Anyways,
All right.
Sonia, what is our question and word?
Okay, so our topic is, what is one of your favorite smells? And then, hold on. It's a little
Does it have to be a
paper.
weird one or like? can
No,
it be
no,
like
just
something-
favorite.
What you
Okay.
enjoy, man. What do you
But
enjoy?
I'm glad your mind went right to weird one.
Yes.
Like,
I don't know. I just thought of a weird one.
Leave. Like, I'm leaving.
I'll leave you
the-
alone.
Yeah,
Okay.
leave. I'm
leave
on
my fucking
leave.
house. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
does anyone have like a first?
I do. I'll go.
Okay.
So,
go.
like, back in the day when we were kids, it was very common for a gas station to just have a little hut instead of like this whole fucking convenience store. And it always smelled like leftover gasoline and these air freshener things. And like combined, it was the best fucking smell of my entire life. It was so good.
Gasoline smells so good.
Like,
Like, I'm glad we can acknowledge that.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember just like loving to like go to the gas station with either of my parents, like when they're
Have the
filling
window
up,
rolled down so
Yeah,
you can like
just to-
have your head out there and just sniff.
yeah.
you know, get a good whiff.
Yeah.
So there was a TikTok going around and they were saying, have you ever been to a gas station recently? And do you smell gas when you go? And I really don't. I don't
Right.
smell it.
It's because y'all got COVID.
That's right.
That's what it is. Y'all got COVID and now have no sense of smell. So you go to the gas station, you're like, where'd the gas go? It's like it's still there. You're punking
That's
it.
right.
Just
Like,
don't
I
sense
don't,
of smell.
don't
It's the
believe in
same-
the conspiracies. I'm just
No,
saying, like,
Have
I
you
don't know what the
seen
fuck.
the Yankee Candles reviews? Every
Right,
time
I've
there
gone
was a
down.
wave, every time there was a wave, they would get a bunch of 1-star reviews saying that the candles lost their smell. But it was just people getting COVID.
Yeah. Like every time Kyle comes in from pouring gas, he still stinks. Like the gasoline smell is still around. Don't worry.
yeah,
They
no,
didn't
it's
change
there.
it. They didn't change their recipe.
no, I don't think that the gas changed. Like, I think, I don't know, maybe they built in filters in their fucking thing so people don't smell it. I
More
don't know.
airflow. Like they made
Yeah.
it safer.
Yeah, like,
So that
I
we don't get COVID.
No, I think, I don't know, people were getting high on the gas fumes maybe, and they were just like, no, we don't want to do that. So, like, in their little, like, rooftop thing under
I
it,
don't
probably-
think they
I
would
don't know.
spend money to do that. That doesn't help anybody.
I don't know.
It's outside. The wind pushes
Yeah,
it
always
away.
look at where the money is. If they're not gonna make more money by doing it, I doubt they're doing it. Unless there was like a law passed and they're like,
I
these
didn't
gas
notice any
fumes,
gas.
but I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think
don't
everyone
know.
just got COVID at this point. Pretty much almost everyone's had it at least once. Even people that haven't had a positive test. It's like
yeah.
if you were asymptomatic, like it's not,
Yeah.
So
Like, I was unfortunate. Like I'm pretty sure I can't prove that the first time that I got it because at that time that was when like the beginning of COVID and they weren't testing you unless you traveled.
mhm.
And I was sick as a dog for like weeks. But the second time I could test and I did the at-home test and it tested positive, but I'm pretty sure I had it twice. And the second time I was fully vaccinated and everything without the booster yet because I wasn't up for a booster yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was so lucky, fucking kids.
You know what? I am a smell I don't like. I noticed is the fucking dump, y'all. It's so gross.
She was sending us videos when she was at the dump.
It's so gross. So like we were doing our roof, we're doing some house repairs and stuff. And so instead of getting a bin, we're trying to save money and taking everything to the dump ourselves. And so we go, and it's so disgusting. Like you go and you're like, oh man, like I'm going nose blind. I can get used to the smell. And then a fucking new smell punches you in the face. Like it's just so you're like, ugh. Like it's so bad. And like, okay, it's like rotten cheese smell. I'm like, why does it smell like bad food? You're supposed to compost that stuff.
No, it just all goes in the same pit.
Apparently.
Yeah, it does. They
Like-
tell you it doesn't, but it does.
I just imagine like or Sonia sitting in the middle of like piles of garbage, and then like that green cartoon like ant,
Yes,
like coming in with like a fist and just going.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It was a fight scene, okay? And I lost. I lost so bad. Like even now, every time I smell once in a while, I'm like, oh my God, what is that smell? And I realize it's just trauma from the dump.
I told you the smell is up your nose.
It's
So
so, it's so up there.
you have to get like a neti pot or something
I
to
used
like
Q-tip.
pour it in.
I used the Vicks like smell.
Oh, yeah.
thing. I've been sniffing that. It's still
It's
one
still
day.
there.
It's
It's
still
stained.
It's like my
stained
nose
the
hairs
entire
just grabbed it.
You know what you need? You need COVID. That's what you
That
need.
right? There we go.
Yeah,
Solve the
COVID
fucking
is the
problem.
cure for once.
COVID is what you want.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get it in Vegas. That's it.
One person's disease is another person's cure. That shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right?
Okay. So this actually, I saw a TikTok today that confirmed that I'm not the only one, but I like smelling my husband's armpits.
I think that's a common thing.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I
So
feel like
I
it's the
don't.
thing people don't talk
Yeah.
about. And like I just remember like one time like Chris was like, oh, like we weren't living together or anything. And he's like, oh, I feel like I kind of stink. And I was like, that's fine, I like it. And he just got like confused, And I
Yeah.
was like, no, seriously. No,
It's like a
seriously.
pheromone thing. Like apparently, like if you're attracted to a male, you like their stench. Like I've never gotten that because or Kyle just smells too bad. Like he just stinks so bad.
I was gonna say, fellas, ask your lady if they think you smell good after going to the gym. And then if they say no, they don't love you.
That's right. They don't love you.
They don't.
I can confirm
They failed the test.
Yeah.
Failed.
The reason I don't like Kyle's smell is because I don't love him. That's it.
Obviously.
But, like, I think it's
No,
just like
you love
has
him
a bad
because
smell.
you endure it.
That's exactly. I don't plug my nose, but like his scent sometimes could go onto the dump. He can go hang out there. Like it's so bad. He's just a stinky man. I don't understand. There's something wrong. Like he shouldn't eat any processed anything. He should have clear fluids and Jello. I think that's the only thing. It's
Just all
definitely
seeps through his pores. you
yeah,
know?
it's definitely a chemical reaction science thing. So
Yeah.
like
He
but
should be
he does-
tested.
He should.
We'll make friends with a science podcast
Right?
and have him
Yes.
on.
If there's a science guy, Bill Nye enthusiast person, you come to my house and you tell me why my husband smells so bad. That's what I need. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that'd be a good episode.
for smell that I like, I'm going to go kind of like in Jessica's direction, but not armpits, but I really, really, really liked.
I was gonna say, are you gonna say balls?
No, a testicle sniffer.
You're just like, he's there, and you're just like,
Yeah, no. Okay, so when Dave used to work at Tim Hortons, he would come home and you could smell the coffee on him. And I would just like in the morning, like bear hug him and like rub up on him like a cat in heat. Like the best smell in the world is coffee. If I wake up and I smell coffee, I'm just like, it makes my day. So that
it, like,
is
pre-wakes you up.
yeah.
right. Yeah,
It
yeah.
like gives you like
like
the yeah.
Like
You know, it's like a really weird smell I like. So in 8th grade, my teacher didn't like me, so she put me in remedial math. And my remedial math teacher used to drink coffee at lunch. So my class was right after lunch. And she had the best coffee breath ever. Like, I just wanted to be around her all the time. Like, I'm a fucking weirdo, but like, it was so good. But often a lot of people who drink coffee, their breath smells like colon, like rotten shit.
Yeah.
But like this
true.
person's breath was just so good, so pure. I don't know. I love you, grade 8 teacher. Queen Mary School, Hamilton, 1998.
I
You're
went there
amazing.
too.
Yeah.
I
So-
always forget you're older than me. I was like 98. You were in what? I was like
What?
8 years old. What are you
Right?
talking
Class
about?
in 98, 99.
Yeah, I was class
Miss-
2001, 2002. No,
yeah,
I went
you're-
to Delta in 2000. Yeah, so 2002 because I went to Delta in 2002 till
Yeah.
2006. Well, on again, off again. I went to a bunch of high schools, but I
I'm
went
on
back
the
in
wall
2000.
there. If your
Yeah.
kids go to that school, you'll see me. I'm awkward
Yep.
looking.
I'm on the wall too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on the wall. I'm trying to think of another smell that I like. I like fire smell, like like a
Oh
a
yeah,
burning
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Oh, smoke.
Love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like or barbecue. When I know someone's barbecuing a steak, I'm like, I want that steak. Like, where are you barbecuing?
Oh,
Mhm.
I love walking around my neighborhood and like smelling other people's cooking.
Ah, I
Like
love other people's
barbecues or
cooking. Yeah.
Indian food or like when they use lots of garlic and that smell wafts
Ah,
out.
I
I'm
love
always
ethnic
just like,
cooking. Yeah.
I know, and I'm like, what are you eating? Because I want some. Like,
I
I don't
want
even know what
some.
it is, but the
Like,
smell
let me
just makes
come
me want it. I know.
Yeah.
It's like this is why we need community.
Right? Invite me
Yeah.
for dinner. Like that, please. Please. But don't talk to me because that'll make me uncomfortable. But invite
Just let me
for
eat in
dinner.
peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put the plate on the table and walk away, and then we're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I've lived here for what, like 5 years, and I don't know any of my neighbors. And one time, neighbors 2 doors down tried to talk to us. They're an older couple, and they came over while we were all getting in the car for my son's like 9th birthday party, and we were like running late. So, and I was like 7 months pregnant or something, or 5 months pregnant. I don't know. I was pretty pregnant. And they came over. They're like, "Hi, blah, blah." We had been living there for a few months at this point, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. We have to be at a birthday party." Like, I don't.
Yeah.
And she's like, "That's fine. You can just knock on my door, and my name's blah blah." I don't remember. And she was like, "You can come over for wine sometime." And I'm like, "I'm pregnant." And she's like, "That's fine." And I'm just like, "What?" So I don't know them. I don't know them. They sit in their backyard and like watch. I don't know. They just sit there. And then they like talk to the other neighbors in between us a lot. But I assume they just talk about us.
Right.
I'm conceited. I assume that's all neighbors have to gossip about, the people that
Yeah.
have lived there that they don't know.
I used to have this neighbor. I didn't love them. Or what's sad is like they were the best neighbors that we had in that street, but they were like drug lords, which you got to make bank, whatever. But he was also a paranoid drug lord where he would just hide all his garbage in his driveway, and like it was just crazy. And we would like try and talk to him about it, but he would like go insane. Like definitely a lot of like anger issues, mental health or whatever, but like it was insane. But then all these other neighbors were always like on his property all the time, you're like yelling at him and stuff. But like I got to the point where I started being like, you need to get off my property to yell at this guy. Like you need to fuck
Well,
off.
no wonder he was paranoid. If people were coming onto my
Yeah,
property yelling at
like,
me all the
there
time, I'd be like, fuck off. You know?
But he was always yelling with his partner. Like they would always yell. They were very toxic for each other. But if that's your love, that's your love. Whatever. But like,
Yeah.
But it got to the point where people would try to go into my yard to try and take pictures of his yard to call bylaw and stuff. I was like, you can't fucking do that. Or bylaw would come to my house and be like, can we go into your yard? I was like, no, fucking mind your business. Like, no, you can't. But then we had neighbors beside us who they would always talk shit about us because we're sticking up for our drug lord neighbor.
Yeah.
You want the drug lord to be your friend though. Like if anyone,
you don't want him to be your. You don't want him to be your enemy.
No, no, but like he ended up being like the best neighbor because he ended up being nicer, even though he was fucking paranoid and yelling and swearing at us all the time. He ended up being the nicer neighbor, and like the neighbor beside us, some fucking woman, she kept gardening in our property.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
I remember.
And then she's like, you
guys
rent.
had an argument with the property line.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm putting a fence here. Take all your stuff out. And then she's like, you rent. You have no whatever. I was like, we fucking own this house. Her eyes and shock and disgust. Like, how the fuck can you own a house? Like, we were
well,
like,
obviously you're drug lords too. That's why you're defending the
Exactly.
other drug lords.
Exactly.
What?
Because we're like a young couple, a lot of packages coming out. Because like,
That's what we
Amazon.
get.
Yes,
we
same
do
now.
here.
Like, and now I want to get one of those cameras in the corner because like porch pirates are real in the survey, and that makes me look more like a paranoid drug addict. Like, I want to like surveillance everything.
Yeah,
But
drugs
I
do
don't
wanna
not
get a
make
ring
you a bad
light.
person.
Yes,
no,
that's
no,
what
no.
I want. The ring light.
Yeah,
People
I've
sell
heard some-
drugs because we live in capitalism. Like if you
Right?
make poor people, you make a black market. Like that's just
Yeah.
that's just one and the same. You don't want poor people, then help redistribute wealth, and then I'm sure people won't feel like they have to sell drugs.
and hide it. Right? Like,
Yeah, and hide it. They'll do it out on the street. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like a little drug stand with
right, like a lemonade stand.
yeah,
I
like
wanna
a
see
lemonade stand. but drugs.
lemonade stands. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that. The future of my political stand is I want a future where there's
Drug
drug lemonade stands.
And they all have like the certified like health check, like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
all the drugs are good, you know, you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it.
How would you do that though? Like you'd have to test the drugs.
You can
How
like
would
have a
you do it?
machine.
But
right?
that's the thing. It's like if it's regulated, like
Yeah,
with
but, like-
weed currently, when weed became legal, they have like all in order to have a weed store, you have to, go through all these licensing procedures, et cetera, and get your weed from certain distributors that they know isn't laced. They would just do the same thing with other drugs. You get it from distributors who aren't lacing it, that are approved essentially by some other licensing committee,
Like the
And
only problem
so-
with like cocaine and stuff is that the people who are selling it are selling it unsafely. Like they're cutting it with dangerous chemicals and stuff like that.
Like fentanyl.
Yeah, like cocaine isn't a terrible thing if you're doing it like any other drug, drinking or whatever. Like doing it for fun and you're not okay. There's a lot of health
but
things. I like it.
But the issue is because people are either uneducated about it, so they're going into doing it blind. They're getting it from unsafe sources. They're doing it with unsafe people because it's an illegal drug. They can't do it with like a safe group of people. They're doing it with a bunch of other people that are essentially doing illegal drugs. And then
Which
on top
are
of that,
uneducated themselves, and
then on top of that, they can't go get health care without fear of some kind of repercussion for doing drugs. If they become addicted, generally they can't get help, and generally if they become addicted, it's because they had they're trying to get into drugs for some kind of mental health escape.
Right?
Anyway.
Yes,
So it's like if
They're
mental health
self-medicating.
was good, healthcare was good, education was good, the drugs were safe, then
right.
what's
And
the problem? Do cocaine,
yeah. Like it's just we just live in not a safe place. That's the unfortunateness of it all, is that people think we live in a safe place, but we don't. Like that's
Humans
fucking-
constantly want to alter our brains. That's what we've done since the dawn of time.
right.
Like we
Like
smoke
dolphins
something
do
and
it
get
too.
something.
Yeah, we're
Like,
not the only ones.
Chasing that good
Cat-
feeling. Yeah.
Cats love it. The fucking catnip. My cats love that shit.
exactly. Like it's a natural thing to do. It's
Mhm.
just like now people are using it as a way to like escape real life because real life kind of sucks. So if we
It's
like
It's
made
just
that,
getting shittier.
I know. If we just like made that better, maybe, you know, this whole war on drugs thing wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a war on drugs.
Oh my god, speaking of drugs. Okay. I'm reading a book right now. You've read Go Ask Alice, right?
Yes.
Nope.
Go Ask Alice.
Yeah. Yes.
It was diary of a 15-year-old girl that
Who
does
runs
LSD,
away from home.
runs away from home, starts doing
Gets
tricks,
hooked on
ends up
drugs
dead.
and becomes a
Yeah.
prostitute. Yeah.
Yeah, end up dead. But it was
Yeah.
marketed as a true story.
I
Okay.
thought it was. Yeah.
No, it's not.
I thought it was a woman from. I
No.
swear to God, they did it on a girl who lived in BC.
No, it was based fuck, I can't even remember his name right now because I'm already drinking, but I'm reading a book right now about where it came from, and it came from the fact that like you know, a lot of teenagers were obviously starting to do drugs, LSD, etc., and some like the famous host of like Kids Say the Darndest Things, I guess his daughter ended up like jumping out of a window potentially on LSD, but it was never proven. And so he signed off on a book that was put together but was actually written by Beatrice Sparks. But she like lied about it, saying she was like a psychotherapist. She wasn't. Saying she went to college in California when she was in Utah, and when she was in California, saying she went to college in Utah. You know, like lying about all this stuff. She got it published. She got very salty that they were originally supposed to put her name on it as like curated by. And this famous guy signed off on it because he was for the war on drugs. War on drugs happened, Reagan or whatever in the 70s, or yeah. And then she ends up doing it again to a true story of a kid in like Utah that ends up dying too, and rewriting another fake diary and doing the same thing. And she made so much money off of that for so long. But yeah, it's all fake. I'm sorry if I ruined that for you.
But did she have to get money back?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to the end of the book yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm like halfway through it. I'm just at her taking the story of the boy. But yeah, like, and the book got so popular and it was marketed as true, but not everyone believed it was true. So some people put diary in quotation marks and all this stuff, and then on like their 7th reprint they changed it to a real diary, like on the cover. So like
It's
people thought
real.
like, yeah, like they were marketing it as true and no one had any evidence. And a lot of the story was like, why was this drug addict writing in a diary? Like what when she's on the street, homeless prostitute. Like some of it didn't make sense. Like because her friends dosed her with LSD and shit. Like it was It was all just to help promote the war on drugs, and it became a bestseller.
Know what's going on right now? The war on water. Like water wars have fucking started. Like it's insane.
Fuck is going on with that?
So in the what coast? West coast of the United States, like California area.
Yes, and Nevada, because I was looking up at this. They're talking about banning making any more fountains, even though the Bellagio has their own water system that they don't use, like that they filtrate and like reuse their own water, and it's not part of the Nevada's Hoover Dam and all that shit, right? They want to ban fountains for the use of water because apparently there's a water shortage. I don't know.
Yeah, so
there is a water shortage.
Yeah, water shortage.
Like
so
that's existing.
Yeah. So there used to be this huge river and stuff, and like what happened is like they're also blocked it off to Mexico. So Mexico's not getting water now from this river, and it's also now drying out. So like it's and then like they're not bringing water in or anything. They're just like it's insane. Like so. Anybody listening, Water World is actually happening. It's just different. It's not flooding.
It's a drought.
It's a drought. Yeah.
It's gonna be a drought inland. It's gonna be a drought inland, and then it's gonna be like Waterworld Outland until all the ice caps melt, and then it will all go
right back.
And
Is
that'll
there
be
enough
Waterworld.
water? I didn't
There's
think
enough water.
water.
There's enough water to cover most of the world. I mean, you got to think a lot of our islands are actually underwater. So once that water goes in, it's under. So like California and Florida are just gone. You know? Like,
I know there's a lot of like that.
there's a lot of that, and that doesn't even take that much more raising actually before that happens. And so if all the ice caps melt, most of the world would go underwater. There'd still be islands, like there'd still be land. But I mean, that was just like in Waterworld. There was still land. It was just such few and far between. And people didn't have drones and shit to find out where that was. So
that's right. They had these weird ships.
Well, they thought land didn't exist. That's why dirt was so priceful and expensive.
Yeah.
You know?
Start saving your dirt, folks.
Gotta build our own islands, you know. Mm-hmm. 1 jar of dirt each.
Think of your grandkids. Start collecting dirt.
Think of the children.
Think of the children, Peter. Look at this.
Oh my God. Could you imagine someone like in like 50 years buying a house and instead of moonshine in the walls, it's just mason jars filled with dirt?
Like the I can't pronounce
prohibition
on dirt. Yeah.
The prohibition on dirt.
Yeah. But like Canada also has the war on water right now, like with the Nestle and like they dug deeper wells around indigenous land, and like so the indigenous people can't get water, and then they're selling that water back at higher prices than what the indigenous people can afford.
Yes.
So
it's war on it everywhere, and then there's
water world.
Water, war on air, war on food, war on
this is all the wars. All the wars. Get your tanks.
But then men only talk about the war of like property lines. You know, like countries fighting for more land. Like that's the only war men talk about when there's so much else going on, guys.
War
the
on
war
their
on the working class,
right? Yeah. The war on the rights of straight white men.
Yeah. Oh my God. Did you guys hear about Scott Patterson?
No.
Okay, do you know who Scott Patterson is? No. Oh, sorry.
That's that's name's
that's somebody else.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no. Gilmore Girls.
James Patterson. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Gilmore Girls.
Luke, right?
Yes. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. Luke. He has a podcast called I'm All In. Now I haven't heard the segment. I've only read bits and pieces about it. So my judgment is based on knowing the headlines, and I will 100% admit that. Okay.
All right.
But I have listened to some of this podcast, and I have heard his condescending tone before. I actually made like a TikTok about it because it was really funny to me because he'd just be like, "Good for you," and he has like 2 female co-hosts and like females come on, like, guests come on his show that have worked with him, and just he always sounds condescending. I don't know if that's just his voice or he's actually that way. I don't know, but based on what I've heard, I kind of read it in that tone. And basically he said during his one scene in like season 3 where they objectify his butt, like they say, look how Luke has a good butt or something.
Yeah.
Okay. They say he felt like objectified, and that was like one of the most disgusting scenes. Like,
then why didn't he say
anything? Yeah, and he didn't, and he regrets not saying anything. Now, for me, I'm like, you mean in the same season where Jess almost date rapes Rory? Like, I'm, like being complimented on your butt as a quick side is a little different. And I'm like, you didn't think to talk about all those other times you said this was the most disgusting moment. Like, you can talk about your feelings and how you feel objectified, but if that's all you're talking about, then it sounds like when women are like, men keep abusing us, and men are like, well, women abuse us too. It's like, yeah, but you're only talking about that when we're talking about it. Like, what the, and so, so he thinks that 2-second scene was disgusting of them saying Luke has a nice butt. So,
yeah.
And that was in the Huffington Post today.
Yeah. But like, I feel like I'm like, if a man feels objectified, he has the right to say that. But that's a part of it. Like, did you act like you read the script first? And I know in acting, a lot of actors don't have a choice when they're like being objectified like that. Like, did he, like, I don't know, like, did he read it? But then there's other parts where like other male actors are being super over sexualized towards the other females. Like, why?
The show is Gilmore Girls, where the girls are like literally like I mean Rory has to do her whole like having sex for the first time and acting out those scenes. And I would say acting out a scene where like your boyfriend pushes you on a bed and like tries to undo your pants and not get off right away when you say no, that would be a little bit more disgusting or traumatizing.
Yes,
Then and like this is like the same like episode. So that like the fact that he was talking about it, I don't think is the problem. I think the fact that he said like this was the most like disgusting was kind of where I was like, no, it's not. Like it's not even close. You're talking about a show that's been racist, sexist, fatphobic.
It's so bad.
There's so many other scenes than them complimenting your butt. And like he talks about how he had to redo that scene, and there was talk about like jokes about it in between takes, and I understand that. But it's like I've read Lauren Graham's book, that's Lorelai. I've read her book, and she talks about how she had to do an audition once when she was like early 20s, where she had to basically show her ass, like pull down her pants and show her ass to the director. And she said she'd never do that again, and she never did any nude scenes again. And I'm like, that was for an audition.
Yeah, that's
like Scott, tell me how many times you had to show your ass in an audition versus
make sure you
having
got the
your
role.
butt complimented in jeans.
Yeah.
You know, and again, talk about that, but also kind of talk about all the other stuff too, you know? Like if you're just talking about your issues, it makes you seem really conceited and out of touch.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to be doing a critique on this show.
Those parts either. He was solely focused on.
Oh, he doesn't even talk about like Chad Michael Murray harassing Rory like for an entire season. Like not Chad Michael Murray, but his character.
Yes.
Like when he literally like pushes her up against lockers and shit. Like he didn't talk about any of that, and they're supposed to be teenagers,
right?
Like,
it's like
like this is 3 seasons in. Like he talks about, you know, the obviously risk with losing your job and stuff, but I'm like, you're 3 seasons in. Like it's not.
Yeah, you're a main character at this.
I'm pretty sure it was 3 seasons in, but yeah, like it was. You know, it wasn't first season. So yeah.
And a lot of actors get the shit end of the deal though. Like you'll never work here again. Like that's your job, and like hopefully it's getting better. But this is like 90s and like 2000s where apparently there was a lot of dark ages because now people are starting to talk about it. Like 20 years later is finally people are like, this is disgusting. This industry needs to change. Like 20 years later. You know what else is fucking disgusting? Have you guys heard of the Canadian Junior Hockey League?
Oh my God, yes.
I heard about that, yeah.
Like Kyle's like this huge hockey fan. He's like, I'm not fucking watching them anymore. It's fucking disgusting. So these boys are gang raping girls like for the last 20 years. And Hockey Canada has just been like,
covering it up.
Covering it up.
They're paying off these victims. They're brushing it all under the table. They just
That sounds like the Catholic Church. Am I right?
Am I right? But yeah. No, but it's so gross, and there's been zero repercussions, and there probably never will be. And like it's just
didn't
it's
it like
horrible.
come to light even more because of the female hockey team? Like they start bringing it up.
I'm not sure, but that would make sense.
It was something like about the female Canadian hockey team brought it to light, and then everything else came out. But
yeah.
Did you see the Twitch streamer that fucked on stream?
Oh my God!
I'm missing out on the good shit now.
Okay, this was consensual sex, so
getting a little bit too extreme.
For the record, you couldn't see the guy much on the camera. She was like squatted on him, but she did it with a window, right, like to the side of her, so you could see like the reflection of the guy.
Yeah.
And her, and they just went on, and then a tweet recorded that and like tweeted it out, and she got like a 7-day ban. I actually don't know what she got, but at first she said 7 days on TikTok. I bet
she got the best tips and subs she's ever gotten.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Found a way to get past the censors.
That's right. oh, good for her, I guess. Whatever you could do, but like my kids watch Twitch.
Exactly. That's the problem. You're
like,
having
Twitch,
sex on a kid's platform. Like,
adults keep ruining everything. Like TikTok was supposed to be for kids, like dancing, stuff like that. And now adults ruined it. Roblox, fucking adults ruined it. Like Minecraft, adults ruined it. Twitch, like game streaming, like it's gaming. Like it's supposed to be innocent enough. Swearing, whatever, that's fine. But now people are ruining it, fucking adults. Why are you ruining everything, adults?
Yeah, just stop fucking on every platform, please.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like pick a platform and stay on it. Like,
exactly.
just go to Twitter, because we all know Twitter is like all for that, and stay there. Like,
follow us at Opinionated Lashes. We want to see
you watch your shit. Like, we will
right? Yes.
Just, like,
if you do porn,
we'll promote it on our
tweet,
Twitter.
on our tweets, yeah,
our Twitter,
our Twitter, Opinionated Lashes. Add me. I'm Sonia Bean. Yes.
yeah. She wants it privately.
you can find all of our profiles there. So, like,
you can. Yeah, we're there. Find us.
I'm mostly just on Opinionated Lushes now. Like like that's pretty much my main Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you are talking to Opinionated Lashes, you're talking to Jessica.
I usually clarify that sometimes. I'm like, Jess, mainly me. Like, it's me.
It's me.
It's me. But yeah, so men are disgusting.
Yeah.
Especially when they're like in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
But we've always known this. Like, this is
not new.
Yeah,
not
women
new.
have always known this. That's the issue. Now, as women are calling out other men to be like, "Are you garbage?" Huh?
Right? Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Huh?
Because it's like you can't stay quiet if you're not garbage. Like if you stay quiet, you're still garbage. You're literally beside garbage. And if you stay beside garbage long enough, you still stink.
It goes up your nostrils.
It goes up your nostrils.
Away. Never.
So yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know if I wanted to bring this up, but I do now that I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
Misogynist doesn't end anywhere. So I seen a TikTok about this female creator, and she's part of the LGBTQ. I can't. Okay, I'm not
the alphabet mafia.
Yes. I call my kids my little alpha getties because they're part of the community. Yeah.
So she says, she's like, misogynist doesn't even end in our community, because when women are fighting for, rights of women, we also fight for the rights of like gay men, but gay men never fight for the rights of us women, whether it's straight women or gay women. They don't fight. They just stay quiet.
It's because of the hierarchy of power, right? So it's the same like homophobia runs rampant in the Black male community for the same reason. It's like they're Black. There are they know they don't have power in that, but they're still men. Yeah. So if they go in and they're straight, so if they're able to, they can gain power over other communities in that way. It's the same with white women. It's why we historically have not protected other like women of color, because we know that we can benefit from our whiteness, so we stick with what power we can gain. And now as feminism like broadens up, we're able to like, now it's an umbrella, it's not just like white well, we try to make it not white feminism. I mean, we still have TERFs and stuff, but we try to fight for like all gender roles, including men. Like we like, I hate when men come in and they're like, well, who has the highest suicide rates? And it's like, yeah, men. Maybe we should solve that problem. Yeah. Like, why do you only bring it up when we're talking about our issues? Like, that shows that you don't care about the problem.
Yeah.
So
that was part of the line.
Yeah. I think also in the gay communities, men have it worse. Like that's like females have always been more accepted than males. So like maybe there's a reason men aren't speaking up. Maybe they're more afraid. Although I
think that's a man-caused issue though, because men think
definitely
are hot.
100%.
Oh yeah,
100%.
All these issues are men caused. They created these systems.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yes, like gay men aren't accepted as much as lesbian women. Well, I wouldn't say
But trans women
100%?
are the least accepted.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like this whole, and part of it is because a lot of people don't value their identity as women. And so it's part of that whole like gay men are disenfranchised, and a lot of people view trans women as like gay men, like in drag, like a lot of people don't like transphobe. I'm talking about transphobes have difficulty conceptualizing that no, they are women. So they just view it as like another, like it's like a gay man, but then one more added layer when it's not. It's like a whole other thing.
Whole different thing.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And then too many people are gay and don't want to come out, so they just put their closetness on everyone else.
Yeah.
they project.
Fine. Yeah. Just so you guys know, back in the day before Jesus happened, everybody was gay. It's cool. Just be gay. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
There's a lot of bestiality too. I mean, let's be honest. No one cares.
maybe
There's
not that.
some necrophilia going on too.
Okay,
but like,
listen.
There's a lot of pedophilia too.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I'm saying there's although pedophilia
let's make progress.
With the Jesus. So let's it just got hidden.
Jesus hung out with 12 guys. You think he never put it in?
There was always
come on. They wore dresses and no underwear. Come on.
Easy access.
Easy
access. And Jesus have a wife, and how old was he? Like,
well, they only lived to 30 back then, so
that's fine. That's the prime sex years. Like,
that's right.
So there you go. And his best friend was a prostitute. Like, it's So he definitely put it in,
and he made wine. So like he was getting them a little drunk. I think he might have taken
he was
advantage.
Date raping them. Jesus is a date raper.
No wonder why Judas was like, no more, no more.
Judas is the good guy in this situation.
Exactly.
Like Judas was like, it is all men, and then got up, got Jesus out of the way. Like,
it's like, wait a minute. What is Jesus going on?
Hey, here's some water.
That's
and
right.
He just turned it into wine, and they didn't even know.
No, he just
fucking
whatever.
Sneaky bastard.
Jesus, he's like, what are you gonna do? I'm the son of God,
Right? Judas was a feminist.
Judas was a feminist. I want that on a shirt.
Just like all the shirts. Fucking Judas was a feminist.
Oh my God. I just think it's just funny to me, like going back and like people say God is pro-life, and I'm like, where?
Like, where? How many fucking children did he kill? Where? Like, what?
All of them. All of them.
God literally impregnated a child.
He didn't care.
Like, no, there was no caring. That was the Old Testament, guys. That doesn't count.
What was the Old Testament?
All the bad stuff. That's what they say.
But is Mary and Jesus not in the New Testament?
I don't know. Yeah, well, I guess they would. Jesus
they would be, right?
And
Mary was still like 12, right?
Yeah, I guess.
13. Yeah.
I don't know.
So either way, he still impregnated a child. So and he was like, no abortion. Right. Even in the case of 12-year-old rape victims, no abortion. So maybe that's right. Maybe New Testament is pro-life. That sounds about right.
That sounds about right. No pushing her down the stairs, guys.
No,
you keep her safe.
You can
She's not allowed on the camels. That's it. Like, keep her off the camels.
Oh my gosh! If you're religious, I'm sorry, but not really.
Oh shit! Where'd you go, Jessica?
Every time I get excited and I move too much and I hit my chords.
Okay, we're gonna be canceled. It'll be fantastic.
We're canceled for hating religion when I have my pro Satan flag right in my background. I think that's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
It is what it is at this point.
It is. Right? We say some like out there shit, I think. Very, very leftist views, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm back. I am so glad you guys have leftist views because
I don't think we could be friends.
no, we couldn't.
We're all so leftist that like we couldn't be like we're extremists, I think. But not
I'm
to be
extremist for
yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
feel like Sonia used to be more liberal than you were leftist, and then over the past like 2.5 years, you're just like, moving just a little bit more left, and finally you're like, fuck it, let's just give everyone everything and just live happy.
I used to be like, like chill, like very hippie-ish, whatever. You guys do what you want to do. It's fine. But then like COVID happened and I spent a lot of time on social media and like actually paying attention to the news. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, but people are fucking garbage.
What are you doing?
Right, right. It's all fake. Yeah. And
you
just
need to
like
go on some biased goddamn like
Fox
internet
News
link.
Yeah, but it's just been so.
I do watch a lot of Tucker Carlson, so it's still not working, but I do watch a lot of it.
Oh God.
And it's just been worse. I'm actually going to blame Jessica because like she's also vocal. So I think she lets me be vocal. So like it empowers me to speak my mind more. Although I've always been about like rights and stuff, human rights, but now I'm just angry with the stupid people. Now it's not just government. Now I'm just not angry at just the government. I'm angry at everybody.
Yeah.
I think I always have been. I've always been a shit disturber. Even when Jessica first like started talking to me, I guess she noticed like my posts about my shit disturbing, and then she would go on her rant on my post, which was the same rant. We were on the same side, and then she'd message me and she'd be like, "I'm sorry I took over." I'm like, "No, go for it, fucking
go for it." See, Jessica.
I used to argue with people a lot more on the internet than like I do now, to protect my own peace. Some days I feel still like I want to argue, but not as much. But I would literally go through and get sources and like point at like make it so it was like easy to read and accessible. And I used to do that not for the person I was debating because they would never read all the text I actually put, but it's for the other person who's reading the argument because I felt like they needed. Like, debates are never to change the person you're debating's mind.
No, it's the
to change. Yeah, it's to change the listener's mind. So that's why I would do that. I do that a little less, but I always say my sociology degree ruined me because I'm from a small town. I didn't pay attention to a whole lot. I was too focused on children, school, etc. But then I ended up taking sociology, where this is what you learn. Like I read Karl Marx for marks. Like for grades, Marx for Marx, a lot of Weber and all that kind of stuff, and I got a degree in that, and then that kind of was like I was like, wait, this shit is applicable to real life, and then that fucked my brain.
What? Yeah. Once we get older, we learn some things.
I know. It's like now that I can see through a theoretical lens, it's like everything is so much bigger because I can't help but like. How did we get here? Nothing happens in a vacuum. What's the historical, situation that led to this point? And then I'd like research because I'm a nerd.
I think I've gotten more time to like argue. Like before I was not raised. I was like a child myself, and then I became a parent. So like I didn't have time to like learn more how stupid people are. But like now that my kids are older, I also have more time to waste. It's not the Wiggles anymore. I can listen. I need kids maybe, and then I won't be so hateful.
No, I have kids and I am hateful. Like I have a young kid and I'm the most hateful. Like what?
I know. Well, like I just always hated news, so I never watched it.
Oh, I watched the news every morning in high school, but that was like I don't know. I like current events, but I didn't understand current events, if that makes sense. Like it was like I loved hearing what was going on in the world, but I just couldn't. I hated history. Like I didn't like now I love history.
I love history so much. They're like real history, not real history. 12.
So my mom,
that's all they fucking teach you in school.
My mom would get drunk, like I don't know, maybe 2-3 days in a row, whatever. Sonia would come over and she would give us history lessons. She would give us a whole bunch of fucking lessons, politics. I've watched the news with her in the morning or the afternoon or the evening. So I was very up to current events all the time. But yeah, no, I was raised in a household where my mom was just like constantly drunk and ranting about the news.
Ranting about the news.
That's at least beneficial in some way. My mom never voted, and my dad is a libertarian, but he didn't really talk politics with me. It wasn't like, besides anti-tax, like that, there wasn't really any in-depth analysis. And then one time on a video call, like 3 years ago, I don't know how we started talking about it, but we started talking about like communism, and then he was like, that never works, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, neither does capitalism. He's like, what are you talking about? And I didn't want to like diss him and be like, well, you don't own a house and you're 60. Like, you know, like that's because you can't afford to, because you pay a landlord for the past 25 years. Like, like you could have had a house by now, you know, like I didn't want to, but it was like he was pushing back a little bit on Marx or something. And I had to be like, you know, I have a degree in this and you don't. Like it was like a really surreal experience. And then he just never debated with me again on that topic. He would just make slight jabs about how Doug Ford took away the payment for license plates or something. I'm like, good for you.
No, but
like,
he said Rob Ford. He got the Ford.
Yeah, he said Rob. He got the Fords wrong, first off.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, yeah, and it was like right before my birthday, I don't have to pay this like $100. And I'm like, that's cool. Your grandkids are on an autism wait list filled with 60,000 other kids. Like, I bet, like, what? Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like,
yeah, why are you so happy?
Like, that's such a, you know, so then it became like there was no one in my family that was really political, or at least political in the right way. I mean, they pop out as political when things like Black Lives Matter protests would happen, and then they'd come out as pro-police, and I'm like, you haven't been political up until this point, and now you're only taking a reactionary stance against Black people who are dying. And they'd be like, then just respect the cops. And I'm like, you're fucking white, go away. Like, you're white from small town Trenton. You don't even know a Black person. Name 3 Black people. Like, it was like, the one of them asked me about the Boston Tea Party. Like, they didn't know what it was.
Yes, you told me about that. Yeah,
it was just like, you're older than me. Like, you went to college. Did you not? I think you went to college for like fitness. I don't know, but it was just like, guys, come on. Like, if you don't know like basic historical moments, then probably don't talk about current historical moments. Maybe like catch up on your learning.
Yeah, my family never really talked about those kinds of things, but we lived a lot of it. Like, we grew up poor, and so a lot of my like wanting more rights are due to life experience. And we knew gay people who were like abused a lot, and even though it was more like acceptable, like it was still really bad like 30 years ago. And like that's where I learned where I wanted to do more rights for gay people. And then there was Black people that were being mistreated that I saw firsthand. Like, it's all firsthand like experiences that have turned me to the person who I want to help others. But my family never really, even now as adults, we don't really talk about politics because sometimes it gets pretty heated, and to like save face, you know, to actually still love each other.
Well, that's the thing. It's really hard because eventually like, I don't talk to half my family anymore because I was just like, the Confederate flag is racist, and they're like, no, it's not, how dare you. And I was like, okay, go be racist. Like, I'm not gonna, like, they invited me to our family reunion this year, and it's the first year I got an actual invite, so I was like, that's weird. Weird. And I was like, I haven't talked to like any of them in 2 years. And I'm like part of me wants to go just to wear like a Black Lives Matter shirt and to eat the food and not talk to anyone. Part of me is I'm not going to. It's not worth the drive. If it was like a 30-minute drive, maybe, but it's like 3 hours, so I'm not gonna go for that drive. But it's like if you talk with your family about like your morals and ethics, you have to be ready to like, what are you gonna do if they don't share those values? Right.
And I think I'm very extreme. I don't have a lot of wiggle room in my views.
Well, you're not I'm sorry, you're not extreme. You're not extreme. People think we're extreme because we're like, no matter what you do, if you're alive, you should have food. Like that's what we want. And people are like, how dare you? What if they're lazy? And I'm like, so what? I still don't think they should starve.
I don't want to cut you guys off, but my bladder's pretty freaking full. So I was hoping we're past our time anyway.
Sure. You have to pee? That's fine.
Yeah, I would like to pee.
Dawn needs to leave.
Yes.
Yeah, go pee. We could just edit you out. Drink. Everybody take a drink.
That's the word.
That's our edit word. Fucking drink.
Well, and leave. I said she needs. Wasn't leave our word? Is it leave?
Oh, leave. Oh,
yeah, that's our word. You're fucking gaslighting me, Sonia.
Fuck, I'm an extremist. I can't help it.
But that's what I like. People are like, you're so extreme. I'm like, how? Because I think people should have the right to live. You're the one that says you're pro-life. Like, right? not you personally. I'm hypothetical imaginary argument person. Yeah. It's like, you'll say you're pro-life and against abortion, but then when I say people should just have the right to like housing, healthcare, food, you're like, fuck no. Like, which one of us is actually pro-life in that situation? You know?
Exactly.
And so like when they say extreme, I would say extreme is like having to need a gun. Right. Like that seems pretty extreme to me. Versus like wanting people to have food. It's like if you put both of those, you know, that red button meme, and you have to pick one. It's like, which one would be the more extreme option?
Exactly.
But dumb people be dumb, and everyone has brain damage now because of COVID. So
brain damage, herpes.
Herpes. We got shingles coming back. 3 people caught meningococcal disease in Toronto. One of them died. Yep. We got monkeypox, which isn't so bad for the older people, but really bad for the kids. Which is about time. I mean, COVID was like
90% sexually active, though.
No.
Like monkeypox isn't.
It
that
was,
spreadable.
and then.
A lot of them are trying to push the narrative. They're doing the same like with the AIDS. They're trying to push the narrative that gay people are at more of a risk when that's not true. If you have any physical contact with someone with monkeypox, that could be rubbing arms or anything like that, you have a risk of having monkeypox.
Yeah, it's skin to skin.
It's skin to skin contact.
Oh, okay.
So you can say sexual because that's where most people are skin to skin, but you could also just be hanging out in a pool in a bathing suit.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it's a lot of it is trying to push a homophobic agenda. Like the fact, like even the vaccine is only available to like gay men right now.
Yeah, which is stupid.
Even though it's like adults aren't very affected by it besides like blotches, but it can really harm children, like young children or like under like 8 or I think at the most risk. But it's just the narrative around it, right? Like they politicize all this shit when it shouldn't be political,
right? Yeah, it's just the health of others. Like, let's get the information out there.
Yeah. But they like to be like, gay men. Because, like, I mean, they did the same thing with AIDS, even though it wasn't just a gay disease.
Yeah. Well, I was, like, when I was reading, it was, like, a while ago. And it was mostly, I didn't see any agendas for it. I was just reading statistics on how it spread. And, like, one of it was, like, 80% is sexual. So I guess that's just because of the skin to skin.
Yeah, that's probably all it is. Because, like, a lot of kids ended up catching it.
Yeah, in daycares.
In daycares, So it was like they were like ignoring that statistic and then writing things about gay men having it, and I was just like, So it was like very agenda-y, like it looked like, but a lot of young kids were getting it due to like things like daycare and close contact. That's all you need. Close contact.
Well, kids don't understand boundaries.
Right? No, kids are fucking gross.
Did you see that tweet of that guy that was on the bus? Like he was on a bus. I can't remember where, somewhere in the States, I think. And he had monkeypox all up and down his legs. And someone asked him about it, and he said he didn't have to quarantine because he's not gay. Like, that's,
Oh my God.
And it was like his doctor, like he was like lying about his doctor or whatever. But yeah, he was just riding public transit with open monkeypox.
So if I don't go out,
so it's because people are stupid. People are stupid, and when you politicize something, it makes people stupider.
Yeah. Yes, they pick a side. Like when there shouldn't be a side. Like
no, science. It should be science.
Science is the side. You know what? I was talking with my family today, my brother, we were like driving. Like, we scared off David Suzuki. That's how fucking stupid we are. This man tried for so long to have us reduce, reuse, recycle. And now he's hiding in the woods for the rest of his life because we fucking scared him off with our stupidity.
We are. It is pretty scary. Did you see the Have you seen the Doomsday Clock?
No, I try not to watch those things.
Yeah, it's a doomsday clock, and it's just a clock, and it was like an art project from like, I don't know, 20 years ago or something. And the big thing was, the closer it gets to midnight, the more the world is over, basically. And it's like it's at 11:58 right now. Like, it's the closest it's been due to climate science. Like, that's all that we're basing it on. So it's like 2 minutes to midnight is where we're at right now, guys. So
yeah, I get where he's coming from. Like, he tried so hard and we failed him. Like, we were his kids and we failed him.
There wasn't anything we could do. We had all the mentors, and we did fix the ozone. We did help that.
That's the only time we ever came together to fix the planet. Like, guys, it's actually as extreme as that again. Like, we need to...
It's worse than that now.
Right? Like, we need to step up. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, but money.
It doesn't...
like...
money. People make money. Like, you know what I mean? Know. It's our
it's a collective imagination.
Yeah, just fucking spend it. We can figure it out later when we're still alive.
I know, like Taylor Swift is all embarrassed because she rides her plane the most. It's like, don't be embarrassed. Do something.
Right? Yeah. Don't fucking take a fucking bus once in a while.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what we need. We need better public transit.
Oh my God, yes.
And when you're planning your tours, don't plan them a day after across the fucking country. Like, you go around in a fucking circle in a healthy way.
Right? Yeah. Take a fucking... bus that would still be less than a one private jet plane ride,
right?
Yeah,
the Spice Girls did it
across the country would be less.
Yeah, bring back the Spice Girls.
I fucking hate rich people. It doesn't matter who you are now. Like, it doesn't matter. And like, when I say rich, I mean like more than $10 million. Like, shit's expensive now. Like,
do you buy a millionaire like who has like only 2 million is not a million.
Nothing.
Like, there's nothing.
That's a house. No. Oh, cool. You're a house owner. Like,
right? Like,
cool. Remember, like, having $1 million was like a lot of money, and now it's like you may get a house. You may
with the mortgage
on where you live.
Right, that's a deposit.
So it's like, when I say rich, I'm saying like above 10 million, like consistently above 10 million, like yearly, you know. And it's like, suck my dick. You killed the world for your bloodline. So like that's why I don't get Elon Musk, because he's like a breeder, right? He wants to basically have the world run by a bunch of little Elon Musks. And it's like, you killed it's like, you killed the world. Like, what are you leaving these little Musks up to? Like, they're gonna have nothing. Like,
they'll have their jars of sand.
Their jars of dirt.
And then they can smell them.
Yeah, they'll be their inheritance.
They're good smell sand.
Do you guys remember, did you guys ever do the Birdie Bots every flavored beans?
No.
Mm-mm.
You guys never did? Oh my God. Okay, I know what we're doing on our next live stream.
Okay.
It's beans?
Yeah, we're going to do where you have to spin the wheel and it picks a color, and then you have to try it, and the color is either a good flavor or a bad flavor.
Oh, yeah, Bamboozled.
Yeah, Bamboozled. We'll play Bamboozled because it's based on like Birdie Bots, which the beans, like I was just going to say, like the dirt bean actually smell and taste like potting soil. Man. Like, it was on point. Like, I felt like I was eating dirt. Like, good for, like, to simulate that taste. I always imagine, whose job was that? To like mix the chemicals together to make it taste like dirt.
It just shows eventually we can have printed food, and it will taste like
we're
anything.
Close. They printed sliced meat or something, like corned beef. I don't know. They printed something recently.
So it tastes like corned beef?
I don't know, but we're getting close. We're getting really close to printed food. I think it took them like hours though to do like this little thing, but we're still getting close. We're on our way.
It won't be ready in time, but we're on our way. Like that.
I know we're falling behind on everything because we're too busy fighting for shit we should have already had.
Yeah,
We're
not
like
advancing.
fighting so that shit doesn't go backwards. That we don't have time to go forwards.
Yeah. Like it's been ridiculous. Like there was like maybe 10 years. Like the 90s were bad, but like they're better than they are now. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like the 90s were fucking shit, but they're better than it is now.
It's so bad. Like that's what I always say. I always look at my parents and I'm like, you were guys were the prime age group. Like nothing was wrong yet.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
It
you guys
does-
were white, straight, like no, you had the world was your oyster in your time period, you know, and you did nothing. Like how can you live with yourselves? That's sorry. It's just it makes me laugh just because like so many boomers nowadays, like everyone hates on millennials, everyone, and it's like we didn't do shit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we're the reason the Earth even has 10 extra years. Like, don't even.
We're doing our best.
We're
Come
fixing
on.
the problem.
Like, it's all the old men still in charge. Like, what do you expect us to do about it? We didn't
Fucking
vote them
leave.
there.
Right, leave so we can do what we need to do. And like the generations below us have just given up. They're like, why even bother? We can't do anything. It's all been ruined. And they're smart. they're
I
they're
know.
not wasting their energy.
So I mean, some of them are. Some of the Zoomers are coming out like strong. Like they're like 16 and they already like know as much as me about the state of the world. And so I keep hoping. But it's like if we don't let the younger generation rule, by the time they're old men, they're they all turn it the same. Like you become institutionalized in the institution by the time you're old enough to actually do anything. So keep your fire.
That's right. Don't burn out like poor little David Suzuki.
Don't burn out like David Suzuki.
I love you, man. I'm so sorry.
We did our best.
I still love
tried.
you. I'm still trying. I promise. I planted trees today.
Woohoo! That's why we're doing this podcast. We're trying to indoctrinate more people to help David Suzuki.
That's right. This new podcast is for David Suzuki.
Yep. So if you
Justice
love
for
David
David
Suzuki,
Yeah, right.
no. So if
Hashtag
you love,
justice.
yep. Hashtag justice for David Suzuki.
Yep.
Well, if you love David Suzuki, please make sure to follow us. So just that might help.
Just
That might
all
help.
social media.
Yeah,
on
all
there.
of it.
We're
All
there.
of it.
If you don't see us on a social media because we're too old and we don't know about the new stuff, let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll get there.
We'll make an account. Just tell us.
Just tell us at opinionatedletches@gmail.com.
And if you want to help the environment, don't have children.
Yeah, fuck them.
So make sure you get your partners spayed
Spayed
and or
neutered.
neutered.
Get them
I
both.
say yeah, they might have both. You don't know.
Right? Cover all the bases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just fix yourself.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would have.
If I could. I would. Well, I don't have to worry about it anymore. But
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it anymore.
back in the day, I would have.
I just happened to have my ovaries shut down anyway, so it worked out.
Yeah,
They're
my
like-
my
It's,
words.
yes, my
Done.
factory is on fire. Like the people aren't even escaping anymore. They're just dying.
They're just dying.
Goodbye.
It's burning down.
They've like let their loved ones know they're not coming.
Okay,
home.
one last thing. I can't stand the smell of semen. I think I've said this
Yeah.
before. I
Yeah,
don't
you
like
don't
I
hate it.
cannot well, it's not semen, but like spermy semen. Like when it has like it's bitter and gross and thick and it just stinks and I cannot have that near me. Luckily, I don't have to deal with it anymore. Like I said before, when my husband got fixed, I'm just trying to sell it. When my husband got fixed, it didn't stink as much. So
Get a
win.
vasectomy, men.
Get a vasectomy.
Don't have to worry about child support, and your dick smells better.
Yeah, and if you're in the States, they're gonna start going after child support while their women are pregnant. So get that shit
Get-
fixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy
it.
reversal when you finally find somebody and you actually want to populate.
Or just
Don't
freeze
worry
your
about it.
sperm. There's multiple routes you
Yeah.
can go if you don't want to be like sliced.
Keep them in your fridge. I don't know how it goes. just do it in a jar. Put it in the back of your
And
fridge.
don't mistake it for your
Oh my
milk.
God. Like, does it expire? Like,
Yeah,
what
like-
happens if you use old sperm?
Do you can it? Like, you know when you're like canning something and you're like,
It
you
can't
can
have
it,
air.
and like it pops the lid. So like, will boiling it ruin it? This is science
You're
we
just
need.
killing the sperm.
I need to know answers. Can I just start collecting stuff?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
in a jar?
Well, we'll test it, and then we'll have to impregnate someone, and
Not me.
then
Not me.
see how the baby turns out.
That's right.
Not
See
We
if
need
the
to know.
sperm worked.
Like, this is why we need science podcast friends.
Yeah,
So listen.
we're not scientists here. We need some science. We'll get some scientist podcast guests to come
That's
and
right.
explain how freezing semen works.
We have theories. We need to know
Yeah,
the outcomes of those
The
theories.
logistics to it.
Yeah.
logistics. Yeah.
All right, folks, have yourselves a good night.
Good night, guys.